Hello fellas, this is Gaming Pebbles and I'm here today to talk about geologic hazards. We live in a dynamic planet where we are exposed to Earth's geological forces. So first of all, we need to know what is a geologic hazard. By definition, a geologic hazard is an extreme natural event in the crust of the Earth that poses a threat to life and property. For example, earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, tsunamis and landslides. In this video, where I am using Cities Skylines, I will talk about sinkholes, earthquakes and tsunamis, because I think they are portrayed very nicely in the game. We will review how these events are generated and what is their impact on human populations. Sinkholes are a generally circular-looking hole as a result of the collapse of an underlying layer. In nature, certain rocks like salts or limestones may get karstified or colloquially dissolved. This occurs over time by the action of water. This process creates caves which may collapse, sinking the surface over time or even suddenly. Sinkholes are not as known as earthquakes or tsunamis, but they are equally scary. Imagine your house, your car, or even yourself suddenly falling dozens of meters under the earth. And I'm not kidding, there are sinkholes all over the earth, sometimes in cities, sometimes in the countryside. These ones, for example, are from the UK, and take into consideration that this might be your car or your house. Now, luckily sinkholes that big are rare, and it is even rarer that they may kill people, yet they have done it. Just keep in mind they may occur if the rocks under your feet meet certain geological parameters. Earthquakes are better known than sinkholes, probably because they are more destructive and get more media coverage. An earthquake is no more than the shaking of the surface of the Earth, resulting from a sudden release of energy in the Earth's lithosphere. This sudden release of energy creates what we know as seismic waves. So in reality, the shaking we feel during an earthquake is the result of different waves. There are a few seismic waves, and each one of them has different destructive and physical properties. Earthquakes are quite destructive, so let's have a look at them. Here we have our happy city. Citizens happily living without knowing what's about to happen. And suddenly,
experts predict an earthquake could hit the area soon.
This warning is the result of seismometers detecting what we call P and S waves. P waves, from primary waves, are the fastest waves and the first ones to be detected. They compress and decompress the ground as the wave travels. They are followed by S waves. S waves, from secondary waves, are slightly slower and they shake the ground back and forth perpendicular to the direction the wave is moving. These waves, both of them, are generally not destructive, so their early detection is really the only way to detect an earthquake which is minutes away of striking an area. And then the destructive waves of the earthquake strike. There are two main slower waves which cause the destruction during an earthquake. First, we have the so-called love waves. Love waves come after S waves and shear the ground left to right horizontally, perpendicular to the direction the wave is traveling. And last of all, we have Rayleigh waves, which are even more destructive than love waves. Rayleigh waves travel near the surface of the Earth in a circular way, as if ocean waves they were. And there is something else. The earthquake has to come from somewhere. This somewhere is what we call the hypocenter, which is deep under the ground. The hypocenter is the exact point where the earthquake was originated. The epicenter, on the other hand, is the point on the Earth's surface directly above the hypocenter. The epicenter is clearly located along this very cool-looking fault, so the hypocenter is somewhere under it. So now it's tsunami time. Tsunamis are big waves forming the ocean which travel at a very fast speed of up to 800 km per hour and hit coastal locations very badly. Tsunamis are triggered mainly by earthquakes, but other factors such as landslides or meteor strikes may trigger a tsunami. In fact, anyone living near water may suffer a tsunami, even on mountains. For example, it happened in the Banjong Dam disaster in 1962, when a landslide at a lake caused a tsunami that went over the top of the dam, bringing a massive flooding down the valley. Tsunamis are often portrayed in movies and warning signals as giant beach waves. However, there is a problem with this misconception. Beach waves break on the shore and their energy is dissipated. This is because beach waves are moved by wind and have lower wavelength, amplitude and wave height. A tsunami wave is massive compared to a normal wave, And because of this, when tsunamis reach the coast, the ocean just rises instead of breaking the wave. So in this great coastal location, which I built earlier, our citizens are about to have their lives disturbed. First alarm, the water is retreating. This doesn't always necessarily happen during a tsunami, but if you ever see this happening during your holidays, just run away and don't pick any mussels. After a short time, the main wave arrives. And as you can see, the wave doesn't break as a normal wave, but it rises. The wave goes forward because it has all the energy at the back of the wave pushing even more forward. This is what we know as the shoaling effect, which happens when water is shallower, decreasing the speed of the wave and forcing it to be compressed and rise. Now this wave is massive and tsunamis are in fact not very high. Their main destructive capacity is not being a giant wave, but the energy they have. And of course, the following days, after a tsunami strike, it may happen that the water wants to go back to the ocean where it belongs, adding a further threat to life and property. So there are a ton of more geological disasters. Events like landslides haven't been discussed, yet they are a big threat to human lives. Other events like debris flows, volcanic eruptions, flash floods, erosion or liquefaction, to mention some, are equally a threat to cities around the globe. However, I don't think I can show good examples of this in this game in Cities Skylines, and for that reason I prefer to leave them for another video. So anyway, I hope you have learned a lot more about these events and why they are so dangerous.